Battery grips for Micro Four Thirds are a bit of a moot point. On the one hand, Micro Four Thirds cameras, all mirrorless cameras actually, suffer from short battery life because of the power demands of electronic viewfinding, so doubling the shooting capacity with a battery grip is the answer. On the other hand, fitting a battery grip removes one of the key selling points of Micro Four Thirds, more compact camera bodies. I can only say that after this video, if you are not confused, you haven't been listening. First thing to say, the Panasonic G9 is a handsome beast, and regardless of function, the battery grip enhances that. It's very well made from high-grade plastic, and it's weather-sealed, as you'd expect, to match a weather-sealed body. It matches the finish of the G9 body perfectly, and feels as if it has a magnesium frame like the body, though I have no idea whether it does. There's a prominent ledge that juts out under the camera, and the whole thing is quite curvaceously shaped. There's a strap-eye and tripod bush. Lastly, but very important, it requires only comfortable hand tightness to secure it on the camera. Once it is on there, it feels an integral part of the body. There's no play whatever. On the camera and in use, the only downside is added weight. It makes the G9 supremely comfortable in portrait mode and makes it feel as natural that way as landscape. In the upright mode, the grip has its own focus joystick, front and rear dials, white balance, ISO and exposure compensation buttons, and shutter release of course. There's also an AF/AE button, which can function to start or stop focusing for fans of back button focusing. Very handy when so many sports pictures lend themselves to upright orientation framing. The only controls which have not been duplicated are ones that could be just as comfortably operated with the grip in use, like the display button and the cursor buttons. There's a rubber-covered inlet for mains power via a dummy battery, and finally, an on-off button which could shut the whole grip function down, so that it can't be operated accidentally when not needed. A few practical things. Although the G9 body battery can be charged in camera, the grip one can't. The grip doesn't come with a battery, so unless you have a spare already, the £300 UK price is really about £365. Cheap it isn't. If what you want is the ergonomics of the G9 Plus grip, you could leave the camera battery chamber empty and just use the grip compartment, saving some weight. Also, that way you never have to take the grip off the camera to insert a battery. If you use two batteries to extend shooting life, you can set which one to use first. I prefer to use the grip power first, with the body as a backup. That way you can hot swap the dead grip battery for a fresh one without losing any shooting time. You could use a cheaper battery in the body in that case. Overall, the BGG9 battery grip is about as good as such an item could be. Using the electronic shutter and power-save shooting, you should be able to get several thousand images on a charge. Personally, since there's room for a third battery, I'd prefer that in spite of the extra weight. You'll be carrying it anyway, so it might as well be in the camera. But here's where I'm going to confuse myself. You can not only charge the G9 from a USB cable, you can power it as well. So any power bank becomes a G9 battery. A £65 Panasonic battery has 13.4 watt-hours of energy. A 6000 mAh power bank about half as much again, and costs less than £10, making the grip unnecessary for its prime function, so mainly of use as a portrait grip. For me, the power bank is the better answer. But the grip just looks and feels so good. Which is why, if you've been listening, you'll be confused. Here's the solution. Fit the grip at home when the G9 is on a shelf and you can see it, or when you want to play with it, show it to friends and so on. Then, take it off and use the power bank when you're going out to take pictures. Thanks for watching.